Hello. Hi. Hello there. General Kenobi. Hello everyone. Welcome to the 2000 subscriber Q&A audio. This is a little bit overdue, I think, because I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. But I've received enough questions now, so I'm going to answer them. Firstly, I just want to say massive, like the biggest thank you to everyone who listens to my audios, um, to any commenters, to any regular commenters. I read them all. I respond to as many as I can. Um, they mean the world to me. How my audios can comfort people, help them fall asleep, help them feel better about themselves. It really does mean the world to me. Um, so this, I'm planning for this to just kind of be like very rambly. So I know the last one was like 40 minutes long, um, and I've received many more questions. So this could take a while. It also will be unedited, so you'll hear me stutter or trip over my words sometimes, just like that. Um, so let's just get started. I have some of the community posts that people have left questions under. Let's start with this one. Okay, right. Here we go. Right, okay, so the first set of questions comes from Jaylene, I think it's Jaylene. I really enjoyed your previous Q&A, just finished listening, in fact. Well, thank you. Okay, here we go. What decade are you? Teens, 20s, or 30s? Um, I am in my 20s, and I will leave it at that. You have such insight into what a person needs to hear to feel comforted. Did you have this behavior modeled to you personally, or is it just something that comes naturally? I think it's a mix because I would say I'm a very naturally attentive and caring person. Um, I guess one example would be I can very, very easily tell how someone's feeling, like if they have a sad face or if they're excited or like if they've just achieved something, I can just always tell. Um, but I do think it was modeled as well because I've listened to particularly women about how they would like to be treated, like in a in a relationship, for example. So I think it comes from that as well. But I would say it's a mix. Um, where was I? Okay, with your improv skills, I believe you would make a fantastic method actor. Well, thank you. Have you ever considered acting? I have not, and I think the reason being is that the like when I was growing up, the school that I went to was so I went to a boys' school that was also very selective. So I went to a grammar school for boys, and unfortunately, I don't know why, but arts and humanities subjects just were not pushed as much as like I guess STEM subjects. So the incentive from like teachers or heads of year to like, oh, you should take up acting or you should study history or English or that just wasn't really like a thing we heard a lot. So I have not considered acting. However, if I were to go into some kind of like art form career, I would probably choose either voice acting, singing, drumming, or music production and mixing, because those are the kind of art forms that really, really interest me. Or cooking, actually. I don't know if that counts. Yeah, culinary arts. Okay, or cooking. Um, so no, I have not considered acting. You're so well traveled. Have you ever been to the USA? I have not been to the USA, no. And if I went, I would probably go to either Washington or New York, I think. I don't know where else I could go. Um, I mean, my knowledge about like what's actually in the States isn't, um, I don't really know much about each state. So I don't know if there's one state that's like, I really, really should visit one time. But no, I have not been to the USA. Oh, definitely consider the North Carolina Outer Banks. I will consider those. Okay. Are there any local legends or ghost stories about the area you currently live in? Um, no, not really. I mean, I'm not really much of a supernatural person, if I'm being honest. So I don't really believe in like ghost stories or local legends. But I mean, there's a guy who sometimes like rides around on his bicycle playing music like really loudly, which is kind of fun. Uh, it's just fun to like walk down the street and just see him playing music. But that's about it. So, do I have a favorite scary movie? I do. The Silence of the Lambs. That film scared the out of me. Oh my god. Um, yeah, when I watched that, I got I won't spoil it, but like there's one scene where you kind of see the villain's plan, like um, it's like a step by step. It gets even more scary when, anyway, yeah, that film was very scary. Um, okay, that's all I have for you now. I love this channel and I'm really enjoying it. Take care. Well, thank you very much for listening and commenting. I hope you have a lovely day. Um, okay, the next set of questions comes from Jesse. Hi, darling. Firstly, I want to congratulate you on reaching 2K subscribers. Your hard work and dedication is impressive. You've always provided such a lovely, authentic, and sometimes silly presence into each one of your audios. I personally want to give you my utmost appreciation and gratitude for the comfort and ear to ear smiles you have given me in times I needed it the most. Wow. You have set a prime example of what I believe everyone deserves to have in a partner or a friend. I cannot wait to hear slash see what you release next, and I'll be here rooting for you and your channel's undeniable success. That means the world to me. Thank you very much for writing that. Also, can I just say thank you for like putting all these little love hearts as bullet points and writing this all out. I really, that also means a lot to me. Right, okay. As you mentioned previously, you enjoy listening to metal. Have you ever listened to Megadeth, Dio, or System of a Down? I have not, and I have heard of all three of these bands. Um, I've been out clubbing at metal clubs and heard songs from all of them, but I have not listened to them like properly. I think the only Megadeth song I've heard is Hangar 18 because uh, I saw a meme where it was like Megadeth be like, we hate the government, and then 12 guitar solos. I was like, what? 12 guitar solos in a song? So I listened to Hangar 18 because of that. I do definitely want to because um, as I know it, a lot of like Dave Mustaine's riffs and solos are on the first Metallica album, and they are just incredible. Like the Seek and Destroy solo, Jump in the Fire, Four Horsemen, those songs are incredible. So I will definitely listen to like the entire Megadeth catalog, like I did with Metallica. As for Dio, the only song I've heard by Dio is like the do 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 do. No, how does it go? Do no 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 no. No, that's Attack on Titan. I don't know how it goes. It's like the most popular one, whichever one that is. That's the one I've heard. Um, and the same for System of a Down. I've heard, or what's it called? Is it Chop Suey? I've heard that one, but that's about it. I'm sorry. um, Yes, I will absolutely be checking those out probably tomorrow if I get to. Um, right. What do you believe is your love language? I actually I took the love language test again recently, I think in January. Right, let me get to my phone. Um, let me see if I can find it. I took a screenshot. Okay, here we go. Right. So I did this the 10th of January. I got 37% physical touch. The average guy doing the love language test. So yeah, 37% physical touch, 27%, that one must be quality time, 23% words of affirmation, 13% gift giving, and 0% acts of service, which I think is partially accurate. I think physical touch and quality time, definitely. However, I don't think acts of service should be zero because when you take the test, it phrases those questions as would you like be okay seeing someone you love do something that they don't like, but they're doing it because they love you, and it's like that just sounds really toxic to me. So I always say no, like the other selection on those questions. Now, I would say like the acts of service part is there for me. I mean, I love to like cook for people. Um, what else do I love doing? I love like if I have to if someone needs like has forgotten their glasses, I will like take a picture of something and then zoom in so that they can read it. I love doing that. I love pushing the trolley or carrying the basket when I go shopping with someone. Um, what else? I love filling someone's water bottle up for them. So yeah, I don't think it should be at 0% for me. It's just the test is a bit. I don't really like that, like how the questions are phrased in that test that much. So yeah. Do I have a favorite comedian? Um, yes, I do. Uh, right. Fair warning. My group of friends, we all have very, very, very dark senses of humor. And I get it's not for everyone. Not everyone likes it. One of my favorite comedians is a Scottish comedian called Frankie Boyle. Now, if you search up one of his comedy shows, it's the most vulgar, irreverent comedy ever, but I think it's really funny. He does this thing at his gigs where he will essentially like make fun of and insult audience members, and he, oh my god, yeah. Yes. So if you are a fan of dark humor, you can check him out again. But if you're not, that's completely fine. I get it's not for everyone. So yeah, so I would say Frankie Boyle. I also like, what's that guy's name? Is it Matt Rife? He's pretty funny. Uh, there's another guy who, what's his name again? I'm searching up on my nope. What's his name? I remember his surname. Andrew Schultz. That's the guy. He's also quite funny. Um, are there any others? Again, another British comedian called David Mitchell. I think he's quite funny as well. He's a very like, oh yeah, I can relate to him a lot actually. So yeah, I would say those comedians. Um, okay. If you're comfortable sharing, what is your zodiac sign? Um, I need to search this up again. I need to search this up also, I mean. Right, my birthday, star sign. I am a Gemini, so do with that whatever you want. If you had the opportunity to travel anywhere in the world, where would your dream destination be and why? So I would love to go to Morocco, Germany, Kyoto in Japan. Um, I want to go to, is it Ontario, which is in Toronto? and I also want to go to Montreal. Both of those destinations are because um, The Weeknd has a song called Montreal, and it's one of my favorites, and that's why I want to go to Montreal. That's enough of a reason for me. And the famous like House of Balloons, like the actual house, I will absolutely go and visit that house one day. So yeah, so two destinations in Canada. Do I want to go anywhere else? I mentioned Washington and New York already. I think that's it. I don't think there's anywhere else I want to go. So yes, all of those destinations. What are 5 fun facts about yourself you would be willing to share? Um, I don't know. Um, this is one of the questions that I don't really like because it's like all of a sudden I'm really uninteresting. I can't think of anything about myself. um, I don't know if I mentioned this in my last Q&A, but I have something called hitchhiker's thumb, which is a genetic thing where most people, their first thumb joint, they can only extend their thumb so that it's like perfectly straight, whereas my thumb goes like all the way back, so it looks a bit weird. That's all it is. There's no like serious thing, but yeah, I can put my thumb all the way back. Um, what else do I have? I have 6 Metallica shirts. I have a Ride the Lightning, a Master of Puppets, and Justice for All, a One shirt, a Sad But True shirt, and a Death Magnetic shirt. Um, I also bought one of the Trilogy 10-year anniversary shirts from the Weekend store. So, okay. Um, hmm. I guess my favorite like meal to eat would be a chicken korma with some rice because I love that. I mean, it's not healthy, but I love it so much. It tastes amazing. What else? um, I can't think of anything else. I'm sorry, I can't think of anything else. Um, I'm gonna move on. If I think of something else, I will say, but I'm gonna move on now. Um, what are some physical and or characteristic qualities you look for in a partner? So, okay, physical, if we let's do physical first. So, I'm straight. So, physical traits in women, I would say one thing I've like always been really fond of is on a woman's arms, if she has like a little bit of pudge where the triceps are, like the back of the upper arm, I think that is so adorable. I don't know why, but I love that so much. Um, what else? For some reason, like back and biceps as well. I think it's just because when you see someone do like pull-ups and you can see their back and you see like the back muscles like moving, I think that's really attractive. I don't know why, but yeah. Um, what else? I guess curly hair as well. I really like curly hair, but that could just be because my hair is like really kind of straight and thin and wavy. So I'd love to know what it's like to have curly hair. Um, um, so yeah. Okay, characteristic qualities. Trust for me is one of the most important things. Absolutely, like definitely. Um, you've definitely got to be like a music person. Most of my friends are more like movie and TV show kind of people. They can go, hours and hours talking about Marvel films, Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy, Lord of the Rings trilogy. What else? They like Harry Potter. They like all of the popular films, all of the popular TV shows. But I'm way more of a music person, so being a music person is very attractive to me. What else? Hmm. I think like really good at cooking as well. I'm not saying that because, well, I say that because I also really enjoy cooking. I cook like every day, I would say. sometimes I used to cook multiple times a day actually. I really enjoy cooking. Sometimes, I mean, if I really want to relax, what I will do is I will turn only the stove, like the extractor fan, normally has a light. I will only turn that on so that the kitchen is kind of dark, and then I'll put some music on using my speaker, and it's just like perfect, perfect ambiance, perfect like introvert alone time. I love that. So yeah. Um, what advice would you give to somebody dipping their toes into the ASMR community or ASMR roleplay community as a voice actor slash actress? Um, hmm. I guess like invent. I don't know if like this actually comes across in my audios, but like something that you actually would genuinely do yourself if you were like in the kind of role play scenario that you are talking about. Um, so, for example, one thing with me is I will very often put the word my before a pet name, just because that's kind of what I'm like. So, yeah, I normally will include like my love or my darling in audios a lot. As well as like like my actual favorite films I've said before, my actual favorite foods I've said before, so just like stuff like that, stuff where as you're recording, it's a lot easier to make it sound authentic because you're just kind of writing from your perspective as opposed to like acting out some character. I mean, if you are acting out a character, I would suggest doing, I don't know, I guess a little bit of research, listen to some other like audios that already exist. Obviously, don't copy, don't plagiarize, but you can get inspiration from other creators. Um, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with using a script from someone. That's completely fine. I've done that before. Um, so yeah. Also, I would just say like make sure you interact with your community because I'm trying to do that a lot more with community posts and whatnot. I think that's really important. So, okay, piggybacking off my previous question, what inspired you to start your YouTube channel and voice acting? Um, I think when I started listening to like ASMR in general, I started with like normal kind of ASMR triggers and then ASMR roleplay, but it was more like and I started with roleplay and then it was like girlfriend roleplay audios. And I just remember feeling very comforted. I remember it was what am I trying to say? It was very fulfilling and like I guess it's inspiring in a weird way. To see like if I don't have these playlists anymore on YouTube, but my old playlists would have a lot of like um, kind of like comfort audios at the top, and then they would gradually go to reverse comfort. Um, I think it must have been a sign of me like finally getting my mental health in check because a lot of the time, like at the start, it would be like nightmare comfort, insecurity comfort, body image comfort, um, a lot of those types. And then towards the end, it was a lot more like reverse comfort because I was doing better mentally. Um, so I think I don't know. I think if I had felt that way from listening to like, VAs say things and make really comforting audios, I just wanted to give it a shot. I don't know if anyone's noticed this, but this channel was actually created about at least 6 or 7, maybe 8 months before I posted my first audio. Um, I was still figuring loads of things out, like where am I going to record? How am I going to make thumbnails? How am I going to make backgrounds? This, that, and the other. So it took this channel was a lot of work in the making. And then when I posted that first audio, oh my God, it was so nerve-wracking. I posted it, but I kept it private for a couple of days. And then I was like, okay, no, I need to make this public so that people can listen to it. And it's been working out so far. This is actually, I have not told a single person in real life, like any of my friends. I haven't told anyone in my family, nothing like that. And it's a lot of fun, just kind of like sneaking back into my room when my friends come over because I want to record or I want to listen to some ASMR, or I want to watch like one of my friends stream, or I want to like write some scripts. It's like my own little secret, and I love it. So yeah, I also just want to say I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. I know it's completely fine if like a VA needs to take a break because I don't know, they have like they're not really inspired or anything. Thankfully that hasn't happened to me. I you know, constantly having new ideas, but I don't plan on stopping or leaving permanently anytime soon, for at least the next year. So yeah. How do you prepare yourself to get into the creative headspace before writing a script and slash or recording? Um, I will listen to Cigarettes After Sex music because it's really romantic. um, those songs just feel like a long, warm hug, and it just puts me in the kind of like giddy, smitten kind of mood. I also just kind of like skim through my script, make sure I know what I'm saying, make sure I know how to say things, make sure I'm not, I'm making it sound as emotional as possible. Um, I also just like will drink a lot of water before I start recording. Normally, at least like an hour and a half before, um, so that my voice hopefully sounds nice. Um, uh, so yeah, do I do anything else? I don't think so. Um, yeah, so I read my scripts and listen to some music and drink lots of water. Could you provide any advice or guidance to someone who struggles but wants to successfully create a good script? Write things. I said this before. Write things that you do yourself, because it will make the script easier to perform. Also, when I listen to some VAs like consistently, like my favorites, I'll hear the same thing in multiple audios, and it strengthens the immersion effect. So, for example, one of my favorite creators, like the character that they play, really really likes hot Cheetos. So I just every time I hear that, I'm like, oh my god, I love that. There's another one who has used the pet name my teddy bear a lot, and it's like every time I hear that, I'm like, oh my god, it's like a connected universe or something. So yeah, I would say that include something that you would actually do yourself, so that it's more authentic, and it also gives your listeners like a greater immersion effect. That's what I would say. Um, I also, most of my scripts are in landscape mode so that it fits on the page and I'm not like scrolling constantly when I'm recording. That's like a small thing though. Um, okay, that's all of Jesse's questions. Sending you all my love. Congratulations again. Thank you very much, Jesse, for all of your comments. Okay, the next group of questions come from Paisley K. So they are saying, from your last Q&A, you talked about growing your hair out. Are you still letting it go long? I am. I have not had a haircut for, let's see, August, September, October, November, December. That's 5. Then 2022, so that would be 17. January, February, March. So 20 months. I have not had a hair. I went from short back and sides to what I have now, and I have not had a haircut in 20 months. So yeah, my hair is quite long now, and I love it. I I have realized I have a face and a head that looks a lot better with long hair. Most of my male friends, like, they're very, very attractive and they pull off, their like short back and sides haircuts very well. However, they've also said to me, yeah, you look a lot better with long hair. So, so yes, I am. It's in a bun now because I'm recording. I've gotten into the habit of having hair ties around my right wrist, so that I always have one. Um, yeah, it's been quite fun learning about how to properly take care of my hair, and I love the way it looks. So yeah. Did you ever end up trying deadlifting? From your last Q&A, you stated you would like to try that. I did state that, and yes, I have taken up deadlifting. Um, on Thursdays, when is it? It's Thursdays and Sundays. That's when I train my back and my biceps at the gym. So if at the end of my workout there's like a space available where there's like a bar and some weights, I'll go over and I'll deadlift a little bit. It's not really like a proper focus. I just kind of do it if there's space. If there isn't, I'll just leave. Um, but yeah, it's going really well. I think it was well, I'm recording this on Friday the 24th. I think a couple days ago, it must have been on the Sunday. I actually, no, it wasn't. That was a different one. It was on, it was yesterday, I think. Yeah, it was yesterday. Yesterday, I managed to deadlift 110 kilos, which for my American listeners is, uh, Google says that is 242 pounds. So, yes, I enjoy deadlifting a lot because you get to lift a lot of weight off the floor. Yes, it's a lot of fun. I definitely recommend to anyone who goes to the gym to start deadlifting. Um, have you found any new songs or artists that you've enjoyed recently? Yes, I have. I I'm gonna load up Spotify. My like huge metal playlist is now 34 hours long. I've added albums from a death metal band called Death, a heavy metal band called In Flames, and another metal band called Lamb of God. Those are like the three like bands that I'm really into at the moment. Um, oh yeah, there's this album by a band called Meshuggah, and they have this song called Bleed, and it's like the most difficult like double bass pattern that I've ever seen. And as a drummer, it's really fun to listen to because I'm just like tapping along or like tapping my feet along. It's really hard. I haven't learned how to play it yet, but maybe one day. Hopefully one day. Um, Anything else? I've been really getting into a deathcore band called Shadow of Intent because I was very fortunate to be able to see them live in January. Um, and I mean, oh my God, their music is amazing. The band is so tight and they're all like in sync and perfectly on time with each other. The vocals, like the vocalist of the band is another level. It's incredible. Oh, excuse me. Anything else? I don't think so. The Weeknd did release a live album, live at the SoFi Stadium, and I've been listening to that like at least every 3 or 4 days. Yeah, there are so many moments that just amazing. I'm so happy that he finally released a live album because I was sick and tired of just going on YouTube and listening to live performances. Now I can actually like listen to them, like when I'm out and about. Um, so yeah, so a couple of metal bands and The Weeknd's new live album. Where was I? Okay, when making an audio, do you enjoy the process of script writing? Yes, because it's a lot of fun to just kind of like write out one of my like fantasies, one of my wholesome fantasies. Um, if someone saw my script, they would see a landscape file, like Word file. Well, I use Google Drive and Google Docs. They'll see like a landscape file, and it's literally just like paragraphs, like continuous prose. It's not like written as a script. Um, so yeah, I don't think I would be able to like release them because it literally is just a paragraph. Like this one that I'm looking at now is like half a page and then a new paragraph that goes on for the rest of the page. So it's a lot of fun to write, but I don't think someone else would enjoy filling a script that I have written. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Has the weather been nice for you recently? Today, the sun was out. Yeah, typical British weather. I left the house, it was raining, and then about an hour later, the sun came out and it was really, really warm. So I don't know how the UK does that, but the weather has been getting better where I am. So yeah, that's all my questions. Have a lovely day. Have a lovely day as well to you too. Thank you for your questions. Um, okay, there is a question from user Anime's wife. My question is, who is your hero and or role model? Um, hmm, who do I look up to? Um, ooh, okay. So before, when I was like younger, I found this like they're not really a band. They're like a musical duo called Nefex, and they make like really really inspirational music. Um, their music definitely helped me like keep on track and focus and work hard. Um, so yeah, the main like guy, his name is Bryce Hall, I think. Um, he's still going, like he still releases music like every single week. It's crazy how he does it. I don't know how he does it. Um, but yeah, their music is very inspirational, very like, the message of like work hard, work really hard and you'll achieve your dreams. So yeah, I definitely look up to him because he makes amazing music. Um, hmm. I definitely look up to one of the bass players from Metallica. His name was Jason Newsted. He was my favorite member, or like out of all of the members that have been a part of that band. I think watching him perform, like watching him scream backing vocals, watching him like throw his head around everywhere on stage, watch his hair go everywhere, like he really gave his all during every single performance. And he always wore like a Metallica t-shirt. Um, he was amazing at backing vocals, playing the bass. He displayed a lot of like emotional maturity as well that the other band members didn't really have until they had that whole group therapy thing. Yeah, definitely. I definitely look up to Jason Newsted. He also just like, I think it just kind of, all of my favorite Metallica songs he has made better, if that makes sense, because of like live performances that I've seen or whatnot. So yeah, I think if I ever were to meet him, we'd get along really well. So yeah, those two definitely. Um, is there anyone else? I don't think so. Those two are definitely like very strong inspirations to me. So definitely those two. Okay, so there is also questions from a user called K. My questions are number one, how dare I be so adorable? Uh, well, I'm glad you think I'm adorable. I try to make my audios like as not intense, but like there's a lot of like comfort and wholesomeness in them. So yeah, am I monetized on YouTube yet? I am, and all of the money that I make from audios will be for purchasing like microphones, recording equipment, anything like that. My microphone is good now, but I do definitely want to upgrade if uh, I continue to grow because I think I should do that. Um, are you planning to, or is that a goal in any way, or is it voice acting more of a hobby? It is a hobby now, but if it got to the point where I was extremely successful, like some of the VAs that I know that do like voice acting or ASMR full time, um, I don't know if I would because mm, it would have to depend. because I am educated and I worked hard whilst I was learning and studying, so it would be kind of weird to just kind of like throw that well, not throw it away, but cast it to the side and choose something completely different. But if everything goes well, I potentially would. I haven't really thought about this. Maybe. Um, I am currently able to upload what I would consider like quite consistently. Um, if I could continue to do that and work, then I would be happy with that. But I don't know. I mean, it either way, it's a long way away. So I haven't really thought about that. Um, is there anywhere else we can support you besides Twitter and YouTube? I currently only have YouTube and Twitter. Just a warning, my Twitter is NSFW, so if you are under the age of 18 listening to this, do not go to my Twitter. But my YouTube is wholesome content. Um, so yes, but no, I only have YouTube and Twitter. I did have that Telon YM thingy, but there were so many bots sending me random questions, I just deleted it. So that is technically still up, but I won't be answering people's questions on there. So yeah. Um, are there any other questions here? I don't think so. There are other questions to answer though. Okay, here we go. Right. They Love Talia has asked, my question is, will you ever do a face reveal? I probably won't for a long time, because when I'm actually not like the biggest fan of like immersion breaks. Um, I just don't really. I mean, oh yeah, I don't really like immersion breaks myself, and I'm sure there are some listeners who also don't like immersion breaks. Um, but maybe, I guess that would be like a target goal. I guess if we got a certain amount of whatever, then maybe I would, but not for a while because I don't really want to right now. But so yeah. Right. Are there any other questions? Okay, here we go. Right. Cheryl has left some questions. Hello, Cheryl. Um, right. For the next Q&A, I couldn't find. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I found your questions. Question one: why are you so adorable? Uh, well. Thank you for. I'm glad you think that. Uh, a lot of some stuff from my audios do come from things I've heard. I think I already said that. Um, a lot of it is just, well, some of it is fact, some of it is fiction. This is how, what I say in my audios is how I would respond, but I'll let my listeners decide what's fact and what's fiction. May I give you this cute teddy bear? I do love teddy bears, but I don't have one. I used to have one when I was younger. My mum took me to the Build-A-Bear workshop when I was like, how old was I? I must have been like 4 or 5, and I was able to make a teddy bear there. Yeah, I'd be down to have a teddy bear. Have you seen the new Shazam movie? I have not seen the Shazam movie. The last movie I went to see in cinemas was Puss in Boots. 10 out of 10 film, best film ever. Um, would you like to share some Sour Patch gummies? I don't know if I'd be able to eat them. If it's a bag of chocolate, then yes, but Sour Patch gummies, maybe not. Um, okay, I think I'm going to go and check. Oh, I am very sorry, Jesse. I missed out one of your questions. I'm just reading all of the posts now. Right. Since you started your channel, what are your most treasured experiences slash moments? I'm very sorry for missing this question. Oh my God. Um, hmm. Definitely the friends I've made, like the other VA friends. One thing I will always remember is another content creator on YouTube called Little Peach ASMR. the first ever audio I posted, she left the first comment, and after that we became friends, and I will never forget that moment. So yeah, they were the first friend I made in this like VA ASMR community. Um, who else are really good friends? Turtle of Audios, I love you so much. You're an amazing friend. Um, who else? Let me scroll through my like subscriptions. Um, Darklight Audio, I love you very much as well. Um, is there anyone else? Odyssey ASMR, he's an amazing ASMR content creator as well. We're good friends. Uh, Teddy Bear Audios, we get along very well. Yes, very happy to have you as my friend. Um, I really hope I don't miss anyone. Yes, I've made some wonderful friends on Twitter, just like in the VA community in general. Everyone here is very positive. Everyone is like just, spreading like really positive and wholesome vibes everywhere. Um, I would certainly love to collab with people. It's just there's some things I'd have to figure out because I always record on a Friday night. Um, but yes, I would love to collab with anyone who would want to collab with me. Um, what else? As well as just like hitting like milestones. Like I remember when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I was like, oh my god. It was like, wow, I started this for potentially a weird reason, and I've just now I now have 1,000 listeners that listen to me, you know. Um, and then we hit 2,000. I was like, oh my god! And then 3,000, and then 4,000. I think we're at 4,000 now. Where's my? 1 second. Yes, 4,048. So I'm very happy that all of you are subscribed and show me support. I never thought, I mean, it's been like 8 months, I think, since I posted the first audio and I have 4,000 subscribers. That is so crazy to me. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't think I ever regret like posting that first audio and joining this community because I haven't received any kind of negativity or hate or anything like that. And yeah, and I love all of you listeners very much. And all of the comments, I said this at the start, I'll say it again, all the comments, all the likes, all of the kind words, how you say it helps you sleep, how my audios help make you feel comforted, anything like that. Yes. So I think that is all of the questions. I hope I didn't miss any of these questions. If I did miss your question, just comment down below and then I'll answer them. I really hope I didn't, but if I did, comment down below. Okay, I think that's all of the questions. So I will love you and leave you all. Thank you once again for being my listeners and look forward to the audio on Wednesday. I'll probably post this on Saturday. So yeah, okay, take care everyone. Bye bye.